It all came together in one of those unforgettable predator hunting stands that perfectly shows how fast everything can change, because 1 second you're sitting there calm, watching the wind, checking the sun, listening to the caller echo across the terrain, and the next second it feels like controlled chaos as coyotes start materializing out of nowhere, and this stand started with that exact feeling. The caller sitting right there barely 15 feet from us, tucked just enough upwind to pull anything circling straight past our position, and for a moment it was quiet, almost too quiet, that eerie stillness where you're scanning every shadow and every dip in the ground, knowing full well that something is already moving but you just haven't spotted it yet, and then finally there he was, that first coyote coming in on a rope band from what had to be 800 yards out, laser focused on that sound, moving with purpose, using every ditch, every little roll in the ground, doing exactly what coyotes do best, circling just slightly downwind to try to confirm what his nose was telling him, and that's when everything lined up, the shot broke clean, nice hit, and just like that he folded, crushed right there where he stood, and when we walked up on him you could really appreciate what just happened. Big mature male, thick fur, heavy shoulders, shot was around 80 yards with the 6.5 Creedmoor, dropped dead in his tracks, the 110 grain Lehigh performing exactly like it's designed to, massive impact, instant results, and it's moments like that where you just nod your head because when preparation meets opportunity it's hard to ask for anything more. So we dragged him out of the way, talked through the shot, the hit, how hard he went down. Good day already, and the stand wasn't even close to being over because before the adrenaline even had time to fade another coyote slipped in quietly, so quietly that if you weren't paying attention you'd miss him completely. That suppressed setup doing exactly what it's supposed to do, keeping everything calm, not blowing the whole valley out. And that second coyote got mouthy inside 75 yards, bold, confident, thinking he had the upper hand, and then bang, double down, and before we could even fully process that, another one showed himself, and suddenly it was triple down, 3 coyotes on the ground, and everyone just kind of looked at each other for a second because not every stand goes like that, in fact most don't, and what made it even better was the fact that we almost didn't even call the stand, cresting that hill at first and feeling unsure about the wind, the sun sitting right where you don't really want it, second guessing the whole setup, and Holly saying she liked it and wanted to run it anyway, and sure enough sometimes you really should listen to your wife because this stand proved it in a big way. Outlaw plus about 15 yards upwind and offset just right, starting the sequence with Ico Sassy around 7 volume, easing into it, not overdoing it, letting the sound work, watching left, watching right, calling out movement, and then when it happened fast, way faster than you expect even when you're ready for it. Hold on, right here, 2 down again, coyotes stacked up on the same hill in almost the same spot, walking over and realizing you just shot a perfect pair. A big male that came in first, aggressive and committed, then keeping the call. Running just long enough to pull the female right back into the exact same location, proving once again how powerful staying patient on stand can be, because so many people would have stood up and walked away too early, and as we reset and moved on the conditions changed again, more pressure around us, more wind, so the strategy shifted, placing the collar much farther upwind this time, closer to 150 yards out, trying to pull sound across as much country as possible, letting that wind work for us instead of against us, and it worked exactly how you hope it will. A coyote came straight downwind, right into our lap, dead on that hill in front of us, and that familiar feeling crept in again, that sense that something else was about to happen, that you weren't done yet. Get ready because it's going to be quick, not even fully knowing where the next one would come from, then suddenly movement, getting on him, settling in, squeezing the trigger, and just like that another. Double down, 2 more coyotes on the ground in 30-mile-per-hour winds, the kind of conditions that make a lot of people call it a day, but with the right setup and the right equipment, those are the days where everything can actually come together, because coyotes still have to move, they still have to hunt, and if you understand how they use the wind, you can put them exactly where you want them. And standing there afterward with dust hanging in the air, heart still racing, it really drove home how important every single decision is on a predator stand, from wind direction and sun angle to collar placement, volume control, patience, communication, and shot discipline, because all of those details stack together, and when they do, a slow empty sit can turn into a stand where everything happens so fast you're barely keeping up, and that's what makes days like this so memorable: the teamwork, the trust, the split-second calls, the way suppressed rifles allow you to keep calling and keep working coyotes without blowing the stand, pulling in multiples when everything lines up, and by the time it's all said and done you're standing there looking across the country with coyotes down, lessons reinforced, confidence built, and a deep appreciation for those rare stands where everything just clicks, reminding you why predator hunting is never boring, never predictable, and always capable of delivering moments that stick with you long after the dust settles and the last call fades.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.